there's people outside with guns. Cool. Being a board game nerd can be frustrating, but it's especially frustrating when you suck. Sucking is a fascinating thing. Nobody wants to suck, except maybe cleaner fish, but everybody's got to suck. Ow, fuck. But everybody's got to suck at something. When it comes for your time to suck, it can be brutal. It can be downright discouraging, but life throws punches, and buddy, they gotta land on someone. Throughout your board gaming career, you're gonna be sucking a lot. You're gonna be sucking like a Dyson vacuum cleaner in the void of space. The space metaphor is fitting because today we're talking about Galaxy Trucker, and if you've ever felt like you sucked, after your first game of this, you'll swear the suction your suck generates could turn the universe inside out. Luckily, the game is wrapped in a goofy aesthetic that'll make all the head wounds you collect from the skull-seeking meteors much less infuriating. You and your friends play as intergalactic truckers, contracted by a company that ships goods between star systems, and your goal is to fly through space, collect as much money as you can, and avoid the relentless onslaught of hazards along the way. And I do mean relentless. In this game, everything can and probably will kill you. Fortunately for you, the company lends you your very own spaceship for the journey, complete with weapons, shields, cargo holds, crew quarters, life support systems for helpful aliens, and of course engines, because you don't want to be stuck in the middle of space without the ability to move. And it's all free! Every piece of your ship is complimentary. And yes, I did say piece because no, your ship does not come intact. But that does mean you get to choose all the pieces that go on your ship and build it however you want. What the fuck? Let's do like an ultra seductive one just for the meme. It's just as sexy as is humanly fucking possible. But that does mean you get to put whatever parts you want on the ship and build it however you want. The game is split into 3 rounds, and at the beginning of each, you and all your friends slap together your ships out of whatever parts you can scrounge up. From the junkyard. It's not so bad, though. All the parts work. Might smell a little bit, but they get the job done. The thing about the junkyard, though, is that there's nobody staffing it, and players kind of all just showed up at the same time, so you know what that means. First come, first serve! The shipbuilding portion of the game is played in real time. All the tiles start face down, and you're free to grab them as you please. You then have a grid shaped like a spaceship that you drop the tiles into to build your very own Starship Enterprise. Oh yeah, and the junkyard's closing soon, so you have a time limit. This part sets the tone for the whole game, which is absolute chaos, as players try desperately to make do with the random mishmash of metal they get from the scrap heap. Threats in the next part of the game require a variety of responses to deal with. Some require a good weapon system, others good engines, but it's impossible to do everything well. Like we established before, you gotta suck at something, so you're gonna have to take an L somewhere and just hope that whatever you do well is enough to compensate. Once you've crafted your wobbly space sled, it's time for adventure. And what's an adventure without the ever-present threat of death? There's a deck of cards with different events on them that you'll flip over one by one and resolve. Some of them are quite nice, actually. You might land on a planet with a population of generous aliens willing to give you some valuable goods. Or you might happen upon a derelict spaceship that you can scrap for money. You might do these things, but you probably won't. What's far more likely is you'll be bombarded from every angle by asteroids that'll tear your ship to pieces, or boarded by pirates that'll kidnap the majority of your crew. You'll stumble into the crossfire of an ongoing space battle, and the lasers will punch so many goddamn holes in your ship it'll make an excellent home for some spacefaring groundhogs. There's open space cards, which allow players with big engines to overtake other players on the racetrack, giving them first dibs on goods and challenges, but leaving players without engines stranded in the middle of space praying for a well-placed asteroid to come by and end it all. The entire time, you'll be wondering why you ever signed up for this fucking job, and you'll forget that you were even trying to make money in the first place. Oh yeah, and if you get to the end, all those pieces that got knocked off your ship by the cruel hand of fate, you have to pay for those. However, when or if you make it to the end, and you've covered the bill for the metallic abomination that used to be your spaceship, and you finally got your hands on that well-earned payday, once the white-hot rage is settled a bit, the first thing you'll want to do is flip all the tiles over and play it again. Yeah, despite Galaxy Trucker being a little galaxy fucker sometimes, it is indeed very fun. It's a lovely sadomasochistic relationship, like dating a very sexy crocodile. Seeing what you can glue together out of the heaps of bullshit the game throws at you during the building phase is anxiety-inducing, but there's comfort in knowing that nobody's going to be satisfied with what they make, and everyone's going to be filled with regret very soon. You'll look upon the ships you create the same way you would your first car. Sure, it makes a weird grunting noise every time you turn the AC on, and the brake pedal's more of a footrest than a pedal, but it's yours, and it gets you places. It's a piece of shit, but it's your piece of shit. Your shit may never turn out exactly how you intend to, or even remotely like you intend to, but you don't have to go in completely blind. Before the building phase, you separate the event deck out into 4 equal piles and set one of them aside. During building, any player is allowed to peek at the remaining 3 piles to see what they're up against and prepare accordingly. It's a nice touch, but believe me, it doesn't help much. There's just so many things to consider that while you can prepare well, it doesn't change the fact that no one is safe. A good majority of the people I played this game with hated it their first time, myself included, and with good reason. It'll kick you right in the dick. With how long it takes to set up each round and how lengthy the building sections can be, having half your ship fall off because of one well-placed asteroid would make anyone get a bit stabby. But Galaxy Trucker has solid fundamentals, and they're decently easy to pick up. So with a few more rounds, or games, it becomes more of a stub your toe on the way to the bathroom type situation than a full-on swirly in a toilet that hasn't been flushed. It'll make you feel like you suck, but it creates an atmosphere where everyone feels like they suck. It's not only comforting knowing that you and all your friends are equals in your dipshittery, but it's surprisingly fun too. Plus, with such unique mechanics, it's thrilling to learn, and watching yourself improve from a cross-eyed space squirrel with no helmet to an equally cross-eyed space squirrel with a fishbowl on its head is as satisfying as it was frustrating to get there. Galaxy Trucker is most certainly not for everyone. The sheer number of mechanics can be off-putting for some. There's a lot of little nitpicky rules that aren't exactly intuitive on your first go, and if I haven't made it clear already, it is vein-poppingly frustrating sometimes. But all that's worth it, in my opinion, for one of the most batshit insane games I've ever played. If you do end up playing Galaxy Trucker, try to inherit its attitude and don't take it too seriously. It's meant to be goofy, to point a finger at you and laugh at how bad you suck. Because you do. You do suck. But sucking's never been so fun.